So many, it's such a huge topic, which is why I wrote this whole book about it, Tame Your Anxiety. So first is to understand that my stress chemicals are not produced by the world, they're produced by me with my cortisol pathways built from my unique cortisol past. So what upsets me doesn't upset you. You get upset about something else. And that's why sometimes you're with a friend and you see like, oh, they get all upset about that. I don't get upset about that, but you get upset about something else. So first notice your old stress pathways, and then you know that you have a sensitivity about this certain thing, and accept that this is just a pathway. Now, stress chemicals make you feel like you're going to die because that's their job. That's what they evolved to do, is to get your attention and say, stop whatever you're doing and run from the predator. And how do you define a predator is whatever threatened you in your past. That's how you define the predator. So you're going to keep running from whatever that was in the past until you notice the pattern. The next thing, when you feel this surge of stress chemical, you want to do anything that relieves it, because that's how the animal brain works, is stop eating and run, because that relieves the stress chemical. They don't even know what the predator is. They just run because it relieves. So they run until they stop smelling the predator, and that relieves the warning signal. So what do I do to relieve a stress chemical? Anything that relieved it in your past built a huge pathway. And that's why one person, when they were young and they had a bad situation going around them, one person picked up a video game, one person picked up a cigarette, one person yelled at other people, and one person hid themselves in a closet. Anything that worked, your brain said, wow, that's great. That worked. That stopped the stress. I'm going to do that again. So you can see how all the bad habits in the world began because there was one moment in a person's past where that behavior relieved their stress chemicals. And it's how the brain is meant to work. We have to not think of it as a disorder, because if a monkey is chased by a predator and the monkey climbs a tree and saves its life, the brain says, wow, that worked. That was great. The next time I see a predator, I look for trees, and that saves my life. So we're designed to learn from whatever relieves our stress chemicals. So a positive example would be, I failed a test. I learned to study better. And it's like, wow, I relieved the stress of tests by studying. Yay. That sounds so simple. But so many people say, oh, I have test anxiety. What do I do? Oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. So that's why it's better to understand the pathway. But there's only a limited degree to which we can do this, because the ultimate stressor in life is that we're mortal, and we know that we're not going to be here forever, and something's going to get us someday. And we don't know what's going to get us, so we have to be alert for everything. And because of our big human brain, we're more aware of a bigger variety of threats. And in our modern world, we have like endless advanced warning signals. In the animal world, it's like if you don't smell a predator, you don't think about the predator. Whereas in human, it's like, oh yeah, but they may get you next year, or in 10 years, or in 100 years, or it may get your children, or it may get someone 100 miles away or 1,000,000 miles away. So bottom line is that we all fear annihilation. That when you think about the future, you think, the world someday is just going to merrily spin on without me, and I'm going to be forgotten. And that's such a stressful thought, that just the thought of the future stresses people out. And that's why many people, they have these doom and gloom scenarios about the future, and they think it's because they care so much about others, but it's really because of their fear of their own annihilation, which is natural because the animal brain fears survival threats, and the human brain says, there's a survival threat, there's another. So you're constantly feeding your animal brain with that sense of threat. So what can you do about it? there's no way that you're going to live forever. So there are all different ways of soothing that fear of your own mortality. So as we know, some people obsess over various health regimens because they feel like, I'm going to be healthy. I'm not going to have to deal with this. And other people build pyramids because they think when I'm gone, everybody's going to remember me because I built this pyramid. And, there are people that want to be frozen or something. And then another way is to not think about it. Another way is to hate old people. But here's the best way to look at it, is to create something that will survive when you're gone. And so the simplest way to think about that is if you're a carpenter and you build a strong, sturdy chair, that chair will still be here when you're gone. And that's why a carpenter takes pride in building something strong and solid. So every one of us wants to create something that will last. Now, some people think you can only do that if you're king of the world, but you don't have to be. So everybody can find their own little way to create something that will last. So I say you can get a sandwich named after you at the sandwich shop you go to every day. Just as like whatever your little niche is, you can find some way to create something memorable. Now, all through human history, people have done this by investing in their children. And before the world of birth control, people had children very young. So if they made it into their 30s, they had grandchildren. And they would teach their customs to their grandchild. And that created the feeling of, I'm creating something that's going to survive. But today, either you don't have grandchildren till you're in your 70s, and then they live far away, and then you really can't teach them your customs because they don't approve or your children don't approve. So there's so many ways that we can't get it that way. So we have to find our own ways of creating something lasting.